European Commission had not made contact with him, but he would be very happy to reassure both the Commission and EU leaders today. Yet, it could still be a tricky summit for the Taoiseach. The Swedish Prime Minister Fredrik Reinfeldt said he didn't know if today's meeting would make references to individual companies like Apple, but added that multinationals needed to pay their taxes, given the investment demands they make on countries. The French President François Hollande said he would fight against tax evasion by individuals and companies. Paul Cunningham, RTE News, Brussels.
A 61-year-old Donegal man has been brought before a court in London charged with the murders of 4 British soldiers in the Hyde Park car bombing in July 1982. John Anthony Downey has also been charged with intending to cause an explosion likely to endanger life. He was arrested at Gatwick Airport on Sunday. 4 members of the Royal Household Cavalry were fatally wounded in the blast as they rode through Hyde Park to a changing of the guard in Buckingham Palace. 7 horses were also killed. Downey was remanded to appear at the Old Bailey on Friday. The central bank has said only a quarter of owner-occupiers in arrears of 3 months or more have had their mortgages restructured by lenders. In its macro-financial review, the central bank also found that the vast majority of borrowers given reduced payments were put on these arrangements only on a short-term basis. The inquest into the death of 5 of the 6 crew on board the fishing trawler T-Bonhomme in West Cork last year has heard evidence which appears to conflict with the official report conducted into the disaster by the Marine Casualty Investigation Board. The board investigation found that the boat had been steaming on an almost constant heading and speed from fishing grounds 15 nautical miles south of Glandore Harbour until it grounded on Adam Island. However, today, in evidence at the inquest, the Marine Surveyor Owen O'Toole of the Department of Transport said the vessel changed course significantly at around 6 minutes prior to the collision. Mr. O'Toole said this change of course required human input.
RTE Radio 1 weather with Continental Tires, helping you stay in contact with the road, whatever the weather. Continental Tires.
Mostly dry this afternoon with good sunny spells across Munster and Connacht, but cloudier elsewhere with showers in the north later. Cool and breezy, highest temperatures 11 to 16 degrees. I'll be back at 4.
Thank you very much indeed, Ray. On today's programme, economist David McWilliams tells us about his fears for another property bubble, how skoodoos, a type of tree sculpture, are making a comeback, and Brenda hears why some people turn their noses up at second-hand clothes.
My family turn their nose up to it. My brothers and sisters think I'm mad because they wouldn't even dream of going into a second-hand shop. No.
What's their problem with the shop?
They're just snobby. They just don't think I should do it, and they just don't think why not go out and pay full price? I hate paying full price for anything. So why would you? So no, definitely second-hand.
Our number is 1850 715 900. You can email Mooney at rte.ie or send a text message right now about anything at all to 51551. And a very good afternoon to you. Don't forget to visit our website throughout the programme, rte.ie/Mooney, because we will be talking about the Blue Tits and the Swallow today. If you have any questions, feel free to send them in. Email Mooney at rte.ie, text 51551. And if I can answer them, I will. And if I cannot, I will pass it on to an expert who has greater knowledge of blue tits and swallows than I have. But at the moment, we still think she's sitting on 7 eggs, unless you can clarify that for us. Yesterday we thought it was 6, and then when she got off the eggs, we could clearly see 7. Sinead has a screen grab to prove to everybody. She's going to put it online now, but you probably know a little bit better. Are there 7 eggs? Are there 8 eggs? Is she actually incubating? I said yesterday, the longer she sits on the eggs, then the more likely it is that she is incubating. And a question came up then about why did she turn the eggs yesterday, and we explained that it has to do with the even dispersal of weight for the incubation to make sure they all kind of hatch at the same time. And then Eric Dempsey came on and he confirmed that. And how do they heat the eggs? Well, they've got a little brood patch, and what the female blue tit does just before she begins to incubate is she pulls the feathers off basically her belly. And that little patch is called a brood patch, where she's left with a bare patch, and it's well supplied with blood vessels, so there's lots of heat transfer then between the female and the actual eggs. This is extraordinary.
It's actually amazing. I'm just looking at it up here. Is that a little piece of tin foil? or
Where?
something. You see, just behind the blue tit, there's a feather, but there's then a little silver thing. Looks, would somebody have brought in a little piece of tin foil, or would it have blown in?
I've no idea. Well,
It's
be
not a
unlikely
feather,
to blow
it
in.
doesn't look like a feather.
Unlikely. You can see her very well camouflaged.
Yeah.
I don't know is the answer, Brendan, to be honest with you. But you can see we have a perfect bird's eye view of the blue tit. She's in there, and that brood patch is very interesting because in some birds it occurs naturally, and then in other birds like the blue tit she has to kind of create it, and only the females have the brood patch and the blue tit, so she'll pull off the feathers and make that bare patch, and then the feathers will grow back in time, depending on whether or not they're bare and baldy, or whether or not they're ready for action the minute they come out of the egg. So if you've got something like a little duck, so the minute the duck is hatched, it's ready for action. It doesn't really need any help. It can see, it can move, it's mobile, straight into to the water, straight dabbling straight away.
No way.
The parents aren't feeding
Does
it.
it not sink straight away?
No, the parents aren't feeding it. But in the case of a blue tit, they come out bare and baldy, and the